we start. So, all those who are joining, I wanted to tell you that we are doing a mental health series A to Z. And today we have with us letter C, and we would be taking few words from psychology from letter C. Yeah. And for the viewers to know, to maintain certain authenticity, we are using these words from Oxford Dictionary of Psychology by Andrew Coleman, who is winner of American Library Association Award for Outstanding Reference Source. So, Shalvi, can you tell everyone that what is the idea, the agenda of the mental health series A to Z, so that our viewers can know about it?
Yeah. So we were going through this dictionary and we came to know about few words that were really good and useful for us, but people use them in very casual way. So we want people to understand the meaning of those words and how they can be stigmatized if we use it in a casual way, and they can harm the personality of a person. So it's always good to know a good meaning about it and then use it in a proper way. So that was the idea of me and Priyansi together. So we thought of starting this show, and thank you, Priyansi, for inviting me. So we can start the show without any
Oh,
delay.
yes. So, you want to take the word first?
Yeah, so I'll take the first word. Today's first word is circadian rhythm. Okay, so it's a beautiful concept, but people don't know about it. So they misuse about this rhythm of their body. So I'll read the first from the dictionary itself, and then we'll add some few lines on this, more explanation on this. Okay, so a circadian rhythm is a biological rhythm or a cycle. It's a sleep-wake cycle in humans that occurs or fluctuate at the interval of 25 hours in controlled environment. It is also called as diurnal rhythm. It is so it's a part of a brain that controls this rhythm. So even the person who cannot see can understand it is a day or it is a night because it is a body clock. Okay, so if there is any disturbance in the pattern of sleeping, like late sleeping or jet lag or shift working, these people have hypersomnia or insomnia. It is a dysynchronized sleep patterns, which is a mismatch of the exogenous environment and endogenous environment of a person. So if a circadian rhythm is disturbed, it causes great harm to the body, physically and psychologically.
Okay, so can you connect this with the COVID times that we are having? Can you connect it with that so that it will be easier for everyone to understand it?
Yeah, I'll connect this to the COVID time and to the working environment of new people this time, as they're working long hours in the night and calling call centers and all. They have this disturbed sleep cycle because they're working in the night, and we can understand this biological clock with other animals or birds. We can see how they wake up and how they go to sleep. They have that same circadian rhythm in them also, and humans have it too. But we have disturbed it by late nights and not understanding the body cycle, this sleep wake cycle. We have disturbed it, and that's why it's causing a lot of problem to people. In COVID time also, people are awake most of the time because they think, okay, they don't have to go to school. Children especially, they don't want to go to school. So they are awake all night watching movies. It is really harmful for them. The body clock is being disturbed. The hormonal level is being disturbed. And so the psychological level is also being disturbed. So please
Okay,
maintain your circadian rhythm. Listen to your body, and please don't over exaggerate your body,
okay,
especially the
okay.
sleep.
The sleep is very important. Yes. So the second word that we have today is counseling that we actually do, right? So counseling, according to Oxford Dictionary, says the practice or profession of applying psychological theories and communication skills to clients' problem without directive guidance. So counseling is a practice basically that people do who are professionally trained into it to help people deal with different situations in their professional and personal life. There are mostly people who use this word counseling very loosely. I like helping people, so I counsel them. I listen to them and I counsel them. But these people do not understand that the counselors actually go under intensive training and they have to prepare interventions as well. The basic idea of counseling is to empower the other person and not give any advice. So, all those who say that I am a very good listener, I like helping people, don't fall under such traps. They are doing no good to you, rather, they are just doing some harm to you. Whenever you want to seek some professional help, whenever you want to go into the process of counseling, seek a professional help only because they know they are trained to help you for your problems in personal and professional life. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, very true. People just fall prey to those people who are not even trained and they feel like, okay, she's my friend and she knows everything. But training is very, very important because then you're playing with somebody else's life. So
Right.
that person is already traumatized, and then if a person is not helping that person or is not a good person to be a counselor to that person is not actually helping but drifting it more towards trauma. So people should
Yes, and
be very, very careful while taking that ownership also of helping someone and should be very, very genuine on it, you know.
right. So people who are not trained, they use words like, let's ignore what has happened, let it go. So the professionals who are trained into counseling, they do not use such words. They rather listen to the other person at what has actually happened and try to go at the root cause of the problem and not say words like let it go or, ignore it. So this is what counseling is. Yeah. Okay. So what is the next word that we have today with Let Us Speak?
So there is another nice good word. I just love this and I often use this word. This is cognitive dissonance.
I also love it.
Okay, so it was first proposed by US psychologist Festinger and it is concerned with the effect of inconsistent cognitions. It means interpreted as items of knowledge or belief. Like you have two pair of cognitions. One cognition says one thing and another cognition says exactly opposite of that.
I guess we have lost Shahidi. Uh, can you check your connection, Dee, if you can hear me? You will have to repeat it again. We lost you.
Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah.
Can
All
you
those
hear
who have
me?
joined
Just a
in,
minute.
yeah, we can hear you. All
Okay.
those who have joined in, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them and we'll be happy to answer. Yes, so you
Okay.
can
So,
start again from cognitive dissonance.
yeah. So I'll continue. There are two cognitions. There are two belief systems of about one thing, and they are opposite to each other. I'll explain in the example as it's a very good example to understand smoking. People want to smoke, but they don't want to quit smoking also. So they will have two thoughts. I want to smoke, and smoking is injurious to health. So these are two opposite, but this person knows I want to smoke, but smoking is injurious to health. So this person will, you know what, he'll think, okay, if I smoke, I'll smoke only low tar brand, so I will survive. Oh, I will not die of smoking, I might die of an accident, so I better smoke. So this is the way this person has to believe. He'll add on something to make this distance little narrow. This is a dissonance. It is and not a good feeling about two cognitions. So to make it good, he will put these more sentences in these and ideas in himself to believe, oh, I'm smoking little, I'm not smoking too often, people smoke 20, I just smoke two. So it is behavioral anchored. You understand? So
Yeah.
people just keep on convincing themselves, like rejecting, ignoring, or playing down the evidences, like linking smoking to ill health. Oh, it won't matter if I smoke, nobody die of smoking and all. So this is cognitive dissonance, when person has two beliefs and they are contradicting to each other, but still that person wants to keep those beliefs.
Right. So basically, we have two thoughts in our mind which are equally opposite to each other. Right. I want to smoke, one thought, and the second thought says that it is injurious to health. Right. So it happens actually with every one of us. We have so many things in our life, we have so many situations in our life. So one thought says let's do it, and second thought says no, it's not. Like, so it has been happening like in COVID times as well. Like, you want to binge eat. Okay, so one thought is like, okay, let's eat this packet of Lay's. Okay, second thought, oh, I had already had so many calories today. Should I eat it? So that is basically cognitive dissonance, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, yes, you understood
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
even it can be used by anyone. Everyone, because that's values is that.
Um, Shalu, your connection has again.
Consequences, but those consequences are not good for us, but we want to believe because uh, we cannot leave this thing from our life, that like smoking you cannot quit, so you'll just keep on adding to those beliefs that okay, never mind, I'll do this to I'll tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll leave it, so that way it is
Got it.
making the person believe itself. I think we are lagging in the communication, I feel.
Yeah, I guess there is some network issues from your end.
From my end?
Yeah, your voice is also like, okay, but it's fine right now.
Okay,
So
so
we can
we
quickly
continue. Yeah.
start. Yeah, so we can quickly
So,
start with the fourth word that we have today is catharsis. So Oxford Dictionary says that bringing to consciousness of repressed ideas accompanied by expression of emotions and thereby releasing tension. So catharsis is basically relieving tension from the body, expressing your emotions in different ways. So different ways can be, it can be through art, it can be through music, it can be while talking to a friend. Okay, it can be through a psychodrama, and obviously when you visit a therapist, catharsis, the process of catharsis happen. So catharsis is basically, in a simpler language, releasing your tension from the body or opening up to the next person, releasing emotions from the body. So this is what catharsis is. And it is very important for us to get in the process of catharsis, like we discussed yesterday in the letter B section, that why it is important to cry. So in the same way, catharsis is important so that we can release the tension in our body that we have. So yeah, that is what catharsis is.
yeah, see, that's good because yesterday we talked about bereavement. Catharsis is a part
Yeah.
of bereavement only. So it's very important. People just keep holding things to themselves, and these are like frozen part in their body. And once you touch them, the tears roll out. So catharsis is like giving out those emotions, not holding them back. So it's a time of pandemic also. People are losing so many important people in their life. It's good to have release of those moments. It is very, very important. So catharsis is very important. And if a person cannot do it, please seek help for this. It is very, very important. Psychologists are equipped to help people with the help of catharsis.
Yeah. So today, everyone, we had discussed four words: circadian effect, then counseling, catharsis, and cognitive dissonance. Tomorrow, we'll be here with our words of letters B. So yeah, that's it. And we have a few comments. Harshita Kumar, thank you for appreciating. And Reena Tambi, thank you so much. Nishka Goyal, thank you so much for appreciating. I hope it is helping all of you. So we are happy to have you
Yeah,
all here. Thank you. And thank
thank
you,
you, Reena
Shaluji, for being
Tambi.
here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Priyansi, to have me
Yes,
here. And we'll be seeing you tomorrow again with another word with D.
yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay?
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.